Welcome to this edition of Attention Talk Video. I'm your host, Attention Coach Jeff Copper. I'm here today at Florida Clinical Research in Bradenton, Florida. I'm here with Dr. Andrew Cutler. Welcome to the show.
Thanks. Great to be here.
Florida Clinical Research. Can you tell our listeners what is Florida Clinical Research and what is it all about?
Sure. Well, it's Florida Clinical Research Center. This is a private research company I founded in 1998. And what we do is work with pharmaceutical companies to help develop newer, better medications to treat a variety of mental illnesses.
And one of the things that you work here on a regular basis are studies for ADHD?
Yeah, that's really an area of focus. I did research training on dopamine receptor pharmacology, and we know that ADHD, one of the main biologic disturbances, is in the dopamine system. So I've been doing research with ADHD for over 20 years now, and I've done studies with basically every single commercially available medication that is approved to treat ADHD. So it's a real love of mine.
That's interesting. And you know what's fascinating, and the reason I wanted to do this show is a lot of people out there are probably not aware of organizations like this. And one of the keys to these research programs is actually volunteers. Is that right?
Yeah, that's true. We really rely on volunteers to help us with our research. So we are always looking for people, whether adults or children, and we work with all ages 6 all the way up. People who have ADHD, and either you've been diagnosed or maybe you suspect you have it. One of the advantages is we do a very thorough evaluation at no cost to you, and you can be sure by the end of our evaluation that if we say you have ADHD, that you really do. And then we're looking for people to take the medication under our supervision in a research protocol. Some of the medications are already on the market or very similar to ones on the market, and some of them may be new. So we're really excited to be looking at newer medications. The holy grail here is non-stimulants for ADHD. And you can be a part of helping us to get new ones on the market.
Now, it is important to know that because of the nature of what you do, you might come and volunteer, and let's say it is a med, because it's not all med-based. There are some other behavioral studies you do, right?
Absolutely. There are other techniques that are important for ADHD. So medication is the cornerstone, but not everybody either wants medicine or is appropriate for medicine. And so we also look at other complementary mechanisms. An area of great research right now that we're getting involved in is the use of technology to help treat or to help work with people with ADHD, such as computerized programs and various other technological programs.
That's interesting. There's been a lot of buzz about that, and we've actually talked about neuroplasticity on the show, on the radio show stuff a couple times. So another thing, too, I just want to be clear on is if you were to come and volunteer for one of these research programs and it was medication-based, it doesn't mean that you'll actually get the meds because there's always a control group, what's going on. But that's just kind of important to know. But it is still helpful for the research community. In terms of this, because this facility is in Florida, there are other facilities like this throughout the country, right?
Right. Now, I did specific research training, and I'm a former academic. That means I've done this work at universities before, and most of the people who do this kind of research are either at a university or a private research clinic that's really set up to do this. There are a handful of clinics around the country who do this kind of research, but it's not common to see those, actually.
And how would a person in like another part of the country, geographically incompatible with here, what would be a good way for them to maybe find such a research study in an area that's close to them?
There are a number of ways on the internet that you can check for that. One is called Center Watch. That's a site that's dedicated to these kind of studies. And there's also something called clinicaltrials.gov, and you can look that up and then search the term ADD or ADHD, and it has a list of all the studies currently going on with a list of sites and where it's being done.
And for our viewers out there, this is in Florida. You have offices here and in Orlando, correct?
That's right. We have 2 offices, Orlando and then over here on the West Coast in the Sarasota-Bradenton area.
And if somebody in this geographic area was interested in finding out what's going on, how would they get tapped in? Go to the website or just call the facility?
Yeah, the website is a great place to start. It's www.flcrc.com. That stands for Florida Clinical Research Center. And we also have phone numbers that are on the website for you to call.
So that's a great place to start. Dr. Cutler, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Great seeing you.